What's in a name? Everything. The power of a name has long been immortalized in prose, poetry, and history. It is your face to the world, your ambassador of quality that reflects your ideals and aspirations. Thompson's, a name, a family, a tradition of excellence. So it is with Thompson's Buick GMC dealership at 55 Placerville Drive, home of new and used Buick and GMC cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Thompson's, each of our professional and friendly sales staff are here to meet or exceed your highest expectations. And our professional staff and factory-trained and certified technicians will keep your car, truck, or SUV running in perfect condition. That's Thompson's Buick GMC, where you are always treated like family.
Coming up on California Country,
meet one family who has found the spice of life at their farm. And see how to whip up a perfect pepper recipe, too. Then it's Hollywood's latest culinary hit. And we're learning how to garden on a budget.
it's all ahead and it starts now. Welcome to California Country. I'm Tracy Sellers. We're in the Bay Area today visiting one farming family that is growing one hot commodity.
A hot commodity and a profitable one. In the last few years, U.S. consumption of all peppers has slowly increased, and we now each eat about 16 pounds of them every year. But all of that is hardly news to the Winsberg family.
Hi, I'm David. This is Happy Quail Farms. My family, Felipe, Karen, and Andreas, we're the pepper people of the Bay Area of San Francisco. Pepper power!
The pepper people of the Bay Area are nothing if not unique. First of all, a pepper farm named Happy Quail? Well, that's because when David first started farming, he tried a couple of different ventures, including raising quail eggs, before the pepper business really took off. Thus, the name stuck, and the rest, as they say, is history. The second unique aspect of the farm is their location, East Palo Alto in the Bay Area, which is probably the last place you'd expect to find a thriving pepper farm. But here at Happy Quail, they found the family who picks together stays together, and thus they've made their unique qualities work for them.
We really make our name in quality and unique products. So, I think that's what's vital, is to find something that you can do well. A product that you know and like. You know, the famous thing is if you don't like it and can't eat it, don't grow it. So.
David and his family now produce a couple thousand pounds of peppers a year at their state-of-the-art farm, which is actually made up of climate-controlled greenhouses that have a retractable roof and are controlled by computerized environmental sensors that monitor temperature, light, rain, and wind. And while their farm is relatively small, what they lack in size, they make up for in variety. All in all, they grow about 30 different varieties of peppers in all different shapes, sizes, and colors.
They go through a maturing process. So yellow, red, orange, and chocolate are all mature colors. And they all started out as green bells. So a green bell is an immature pepper, and a green pepper is an immature pepper. It's going to turn some color. You know from your seed source what that color is going to be. Lavender peppers and white peppers start out those colors and then mature to red or other colors. There are actually some white peppers that mature to yellow as well. So those are all just genetics. They start out this color, and this means it's not going to go any further. So we pick these. Normally we like to get them when they're purple, but when they're small like this, we usually don't pick them just because we're waiting to see if they're going to get any bigger. But once they turn red, we know they're going no further. So then we pick them, and these actually they taste better when they're a little red like that, and they get some really nice coloration. You get these sort of streaks. That's not a particularly exceptional one. I'll find a prettier one here soon. But they end up with these really, this is getting a little better when you start getting a little more of the real dark and red all together. These guys are just such a nice pepper. This is a frying type. Cubanelles are thin-walled, tender-skinned, and really sweet when they're red like this. So you can throw it on the barbecue, stuff them with a little cheese and broil them, anything like that.
Over the years, they found their most popular pepper has been this one, a Padron, which is known for being sweeter and more tender than most green peppers. and David believes he is one of the few to be growing it in California. In addition to their prized peppers, they've recently branched out even further at the farm, making spices like paprika out of some of their produce. And because their farm is indoors, the family can extend their growing period as well. This lets them bring their peppers and spices to Bay Area restaurants and farmers markets almost all year long now, where they have found a niche market with folks looking for exotic products like theirs. But they found the true key to success lies in the education of customers, both the amateurs and the experts.
Chefs will come and say, well, I need a frying pepper, so I'll have to show them one and say, try this, try it this way, try that. And they'll say, they're not selling, what's the trouble, And I say, well, did you try putting a little cheese with them? Oftentimes if they're hot and you serve them with cheese, it makes it a lot more bearable. Then people aren't scared of them, and it all depends. So we end up having to we actually have recipes on our website. We often have to give them suggestions of how to cook them, how to use them, and people oftentimes get excited about them. We get a lot of people that when we get a new variety, we'll get them to try them and they'll go, oh boy, that was great.
Thanks to their farmers market appearances, the family has managed to build a loyal following over the years, and business is booming. They are now adding more markets to their schedule and growing a variety of produce at the farm, like squash and cucumbers. So you might say things really are hotter than ever at this pepper farm.
Hi, I'm Park Ulrich, the executive chef at Water Bar Restaurant here in San Francisco. Today we're going to make chimichurri sauce, which I think is a versatile sauce that can be used on meat, fish, and even a little bit of vegetables. You can use any kind of pepper you like. I like jalapenos because they're a little spicy but not too spicy. We're just going to rough chop these to put them in the blender to help the blender out a little bit. If you really want to take the heat out, you want to take the seeds out. That's where all the heat is in a pepper. You could also roast the peppers if you like, and just peel them, put them in the blender. We're also going to use a little bit of raw garlic. Just take your cloves, take them out of the skin, drop those in, a little bit of salt. Then we're going to take another main ingredient is cilantro in chimichurri. Chimichurri came about from the gauchos in Argentina, where they could make a sauce as they were in the pasture herding cattle, and it would last for days because of the acidity from it. So we're going to add some cilantro to it, and those cowboys would eat, and they'd use it as a condiment, and that's what we use it here as at Water Bar. So for our acidity, we're going to use some nice sherry vinegar. We're going to add that in. That'll help get the blender going. We're going to also use a little bit of water to get the blender to go. Then as we get the blender going, we're going to start adding a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and we're going to finish with a little parsley that's going to give it a nice green flavor. So start out slow. I put the peppers and the garlic in first. That way it can macerate those, really chew them up without really bruising the cilantro. Now as I turn it up, we'll get to puree that cilantro. Start drizzling in the olive oil a little at a time. You want to work quickly here though, because if the blender gets too hot, you're going to cook your herbs and your herbs will turn brown. So now we're going to add the parsley. Again, I rough chop that and pour it out. It wants to be loose, not too thick, but nice and green. And here are the examples that chimichurri shows its versatility with the flavors that it can create. And I'm Park Ulrich, the executive chef here at Water Bar Restaurant. Come on down and say hello.
cookies, cakes, and cupcakes. California is home to some of the sweetest treats in the business. But to make the best, you need to start with the best, which coincidentally is what has turned one company's products into the hottest ticket in Tinseltown. Welcome to Mrs. Beasleys, a place that has built a reputation on making mini treats with big flavor, all thanks to some special ingredients. Let's go check out what they've got. Hello!
Well, Mrs. Beasley is going to be 30 years old next year, and it was started by two sisters at a store in Tarzana, California. And our very first customer was Barbara Streisand. And Barbara gave out Mrs. Beasley's baskets as Christmas gifts. Before we knew it, we had lines outside the store, and the business just grew from there.
And grow it did. From a makeshift kitchen and a few gift baskets to this, a 30,000 square foot production plant that pumps out some of the best cookies, cakes, and brownies around. And despite being in the middle of diet-crazed Los Angeles, they have a fan base as rich as their homemade treats. Although you don't have to be famous to enjoy the wholesome goodness served up here every day.
Today I got the toasted coconut, the mint avalanche, a strawberry, and a lemon.
And taste is a big reason people can't get enough of these homemade treats. Each one is given hands-on care and extra TLC you won't find everywhere. They even have full-time employees to zest and juice fresh lemons and oranges every day. Every edible delight is unique and individually designed here, no doubt reminiscent of the way Mom used to make it, although she probably made it look a little easier than I did. Anthony says anyone can do this. We're going to put that theory to the test. Stop yelling at me, Anthony. I'm doing my best. God. If Mrs. Beasley could talk, this is what she would want. So what are we looking at here, Anthony?
These are the fresh lemon cakes that just came out of the oven right now. Don't leave any empty spots.
No. Mrs. Beasley would have my head.
Exactly, and our customers later who pick up her cake are going to be angry. It's not enough glaze.
I don't want angry customers. How'd I do? Good? They're laughing at me. I don't know if that's good. They're laughing. Is that good? But the real secret to success at Mrs. Beasley's may very well lie in their special ingredients. Best known for their mouth-watering carrot and lemon cakes, you won't find any powders, food coloring, or prepackaged mixes here. Everything is homemade from the best ingredients around, and for that they turn to a whole host of farmers from around the state. Each year they use more than 300,000 eggs, 30,000 pounds of butter, 25,000 fresh oranges, and 150,000 fresh lemons.
Well, since day one, Mrs. Beasley's has always been a California company and has always stood for the freshness of California. Everything we made is of the highest ingredients.
The end product, I think, because we have such consistent weather, we know we can always count on fresh lemons. We can always count on fresh oranges. We know that the carrots that come from Bakersfield are always going to be fresh, always going to be right around the corner.
And he's not kidding. Just a hop, skip, and jump away from Los Angeles, you'll find one of the secrets to Mrs. Beasley's success. This is where the Kern Ridge group of growers is located, a year-round grower and shipper of carrots. And it's no accident this is where they call home. As it turns out, Kern County is one of the best carrot-growing regions in the country.
It's all about the climate and the soil that we have. Within 100 miles of our facility, we can grow carrots all year round, 52 weeks out of the year. It's all grown here in California. The soil makes the carrots nice and sweet.
One of the biggest components in our carrot cakes, probably about 25% of our carrot cake, is fresh shredded carrots.
We like the carrot to have a good length, uniformity on a carrot, no blemishes. We like to, when we break a carrot in half, we like to have no core in the carrot because the big core means they're tougher to eat. Because we're so concerned by our quality that it reflects on their product.
And quality is one of the fundamental principles that has helped this grower turn a small family store into a favorite bakery that families all around the state can enjoy. And it's just another way to experience the bounty that California offers up every day in a variety of forms from a variety of farms. For California Country, I'm Tracy Sellers.
Literally farm to table. Literally, it's like from the gardens, from the dirt. I mean, they come straight from that place. The connection, when you make that connection with the farmer, with the growers, it makes for a different feeling when you're cooking. For me now, things taste different.
So you think you know everything there is to know about celery? Well, get ready to unwrap a few surprises about one of the most eaten but least understood of vegetables.
Sure, you've seen celery as a vital part of a salad or maybe even your favorite Bloody Mary. But at the Duda farm in Oxnard, the skinny stringed veggie is so much more. In the early 1900s, when Andrew Duda plowed his first field in Florida, all he had was a pair of mules, some celery seed, and an enduring belief in the value of hard work. Today, the Duda family farm has expanded operations to California, but their beliefs and commitment to remain the same is still here, even if consumers don't realize how important the venerable veggie really is.
Celery has a lot of uses, and most of them are hidden uses. I mean, other than your party trays and things of that nature that you see in the store, you go into the grocery store and you'll see the stalks of celery. The housewife or whoever's doing the shopping is picking up their stalk of celery, but the hidden celery is all the celery that's an ingredient in all of the recipes and by the food manufacturers and everybody else that utilizes celery, whether it's industrial, food service, or some other form. As we look at the way that it shingles, how does it shingle one on top of the other? Is it shingled for compactness? Is it nice and symmetrical? Does it have a good green color? Is it smooth versus ribby? All of those things lead to a good stalk of celery that we can get to the market for the consumer.
The Golden State is actually #1 in celery production, and Duda Farms now has about 3,500 acres of celery in year-round production. And as they like to say, they follow the sun, meaning they move production from Salinas in the summer to Oxnard in the fall, producing about 3.5 million cartons of it a year. It is an intensive crop to grow. From seed to harvest, it takes about 6 months. And here's another fun fact for you about celery. It actually gets its crispness from the rigidity of the stalk, combined with a high water content. And while celery is about 90% water, these farmers are doing everything they can to conserve water in the Golden State. They have recently installed water probes to monitor moisture in the soil, thus protecting from overwatering or underwatering with one of California's most precious natural resources.
The future of farming in California certainly relies upon the use of water and the availability of water. It's a valuable resource. If we don't use it wisely, or if we don't have enough, we're not going to have the ability to grow our crops to feed the country and the world. Wherever water flows is where crops grow, but you still have to use it wisely.
In addition to improving technology in the fields, Duda Farms has also taken their farming innovations inside at their state-of-the-art production facility just minutes from the fields in Oxnard. More than 63,000 square feet are devoted to celery and nothing but celery here. And thanks to that increased desire for taste, celery has become a common household staple. Did you know it's actually the 6th best-selling vegetable in supermarkets? Its crunchy texture and distinctive flavor make it a popular addition to many different dishes, and while most people seldom think of celery as a real food in and of itself, in today's culinary world, celery is used as a seasoning, a garnish, or a snack, like at Brooks' Restaurant. Located in the historic downtown district of Ventura, just a few blocks from the Pacific Ocean, chef and owner Andy Brooks focuses on local, seasonal ingredients for his bold and inventive menu and is a big fan of using the prized local stocks. He prides himself in using every bit of the vegetable, not only the stalks, but also the leaves, roots, and seeds for seasoning in a variety of dishes.
Celery plays into a lot of our cooking, actually. Celery is one of the main ingredients in mirepoix, of course. Everybody uses it now with the celery and onions, and we use it for our soups. We make a couple different soups at the restaurant, so that's always a big base of it. So here you have it. This is our buffalo crispy oysters with our celery root slaw, topped off with buffalo aioli, imported gorgonzola cheese, and some fresh parsley. And this is a great appetizer, and I know that everybody will enjoy it or wake your palate up.
Andy adds that celery can actually be paired with a variety of items you may have not even thought of, like almonds, blue cheese, and butter, to name a few. And while consumption hits a high during the holiday months and the Super Bowl, for these chefs and farmers, every day is a reason to celebrate celery. For California Country, I'm Tracy Sellers. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with more California Country coming up next. Welcome back to California Country. Do you have big ideas for your garden but kind of a small budget? Well, Steve McShane has some ideas just for you then.
I'm at a garden center and I've only got like $50 to spend. In fact, I've got 51. So what's in it for the economical gardener? Well, I've got some tips for you. Get excited. First, let's start with plant material. I always recommend to folks that they're looking to save money to buy plants that can be easily divided or reproduced. One of my favorites is the geranium. Very easy to start from cuttings. Simply take off a piece and start it in water or even in soil. Really, really easy to make more of these. Give them to friends and put them all over your garden. I also like to say to folks, consider container gardening. Less weeds, easy to maintain. This wine barrel, $30 is the upper limit on prices you'd pay for a wine barrel. Drill holes in the bottom and you're ready to go. Now another tip, saving money, less effort. A nice mulch like this single grind gorilla hair. This will go well in your backyard to prevent weeds from sprouting. You can buy it in bulk from a landscape supply yard. Usually they'll have it labeled. You'd get a big garbage bag full for say $3 or $4. And if you have to, you can buy a bag for you for say around $8. All right, are you ready for the ultimate secret, the best kept secret at a garden center or nursery? This is what a lot of people call the plant hospital. That's right. A lot of times you'll see clearances of anywhere from 30 to 50 or 75% off. Sometimes gardeners are so passionate that they want to give away the plant material for free because they want to see it go to a good home. Things that just haven't survived the winter very well or need to be cut back, fertilized, and brought to a good home are still nursery quality, great plants. So my final tip to you is at your favorite nursery or garden center, find out if they've got a discount area. Look at what they've got, because oftentimes it'll save you a lot of money. It is possible to keep a beautiful landscape on a budget. I am living proof. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Steve. Well, that is going to do it for the show today. If you have questions and would like to know about the recipe you've seen on the show today, check out our website at californiacountry.org. And we'll see you again next week on California Country.